Hello and welcome to the Intercontinental Sim Racing Porsche Challenge. You're joining us this week just north of Milan, Italy at Autodromo Nazionale Monza for round 3 of the Porsche Cup Championship. Joining me in the commentary booth today is Martin Pearson.
Good evening, Isaac. How are we?
Doing very well, thanks. Looking forward to an awesome evening of racing. Every round so far has given us some brilliant racing to watch over, and it looks like today's going to be no exception. Looking at the time so far, they're very close. Even though they've only got 14 entrants today, it looks like it's going to be an absolute cracker of a race.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less today at Monza. The Temple of Speed, all that slipstreaming effect as one of the Mika Esports cars, a bit of a whoopsie there on his practice, but yeah, I'm sure he'll be alright for the race, not a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So Monza, like you were just saying, is going to be an absolute slipstream fest. But not only that, it's quite a challenging track for drivers to get all of these heavy braking zones and steep curbs correct. Every single braking zone here, you're going down from well over 200, 250 kilometers an hour down to below 100 in a lot of these corners. And then you get that slightly wrong. You've got these massive curbs or these gravel traps on every single corner exit and apex that it makes it a brilliant track to watch some racing, but very challenging from a driver's standpoint.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And braking is difficult in these cars. Acceleration is difficult in these cars. Our Pro and our Am drivers today have quite a challenge ahead of them, but no, should be produce some very good racing.
Yeah, definitely. As we now look on board with Keith Eicherman, he's sitting first at the moment of our AM runners. He's a new entry to our season, so this is the first time we're seeing him out on track. He's running one of our ISRC TV liveried cars, so keep an eye on him in the number 91. Like I said, he's new to the championship, and it's good to see him already taking the fight to the big guns in the Anfield. He's currently sat fastest in practice with Francois Coulet for Mecca Esports Academies, just behind him in second, and James Parker for iRacing UK sat third fastest in the AM category at the moment. So it looks like it's going to be an interesting battle there. And actually our championship leader, Peter Pastel, is in fourth, and he's almost half a second off of Keith at the front. So it'd be interesting to see what he's going to be able to do in the race. As actually we see Peter just getting pushed down there by Nils Leppers, who's just setting a fast time there, moving him up into third place. But it looks like this is going to be an interesting battle, not only on track, but in our standings as well for this championship race, as we see them coming up on screen now. Leader of your championship at the moment, Nanzivano, is yet to see him win a race. He's raced in all 4 and got very good results in those, bringing him to the top. And then also our race number 2 winner from last week, Luke Chmielowski for Lithium Motorsports, is currently sat in second. And then Peter Pastel, third overall and first of our AM Championship drivers. Very well driven from him. And then our third pro driver, Kevin Vermont, as well for Mecca Esports. That's 2 Mecca Esports out of... that's 2 out of 2 Mecca Esports, taking the top 4 overall. Now, if we're just looking at our AM Championship, in third place, we've got Harry Harvey. And in second place, Harry Harvey. And in third, Nicholas Crittenden. So it looks like it's going to be a very interesting battle with Nicholas not here today, but should be an interesting race.
Yeah, I think Nicholas did a few laps in practice, so maybe he'll turn up in the last few minutes of practice available before qualifying starts. So as we see there on screen now, we have Peter Pastel has 3 races out of 4 he's won in the AM category, with Harry Harvey chasing him down. He'll be hoping to make a dent on his championship lead this evening. Nicholas Crittenden, as you said there, in third place with about a 20-point gap over Nils Leppers. Francois Coulet has he gained 4 spots last time out at Mid-Ohio, so he'll be hoping for a few more this time. Yeah, our AM Championship was as competitive as the overall, and yeah, very good to see Peter Pastel there doing very well overall as well.
Yeah, but it's Peter Pastel. He's only a, I say only, he's a 2.3 carat driver, so just on that threshold of nearly being a pro driver of the 2.4K cutoff. He's got to be careful that he doesn't go over that at any point during the season, or else he will be moved up into the pro category. But you can see that iRating there is, he's now, he's leading the championship, like you said, 3 out of 4. 3 wins out of 4 races, and even the race that he didn't win was unfortunate because he got contact at turn 1. That was our last race at Mid-Ohio. But he's very good in the race, very good at keeping it clean, and hopefully we should see that coming through today before we go through into the race in just over 15 minutes' time.
Yeah, absolutely. As I think we'll bring up the calendars now so we can look through the rest of the schedule for ISRPC Championship. So this week we are at round 3 of Monza in 2 weeks' time. After the ISREC finale of 24 Hours of Le Mans, we will go to Donington Park National Circuit, and then a fantastic round. Round 5 is going to be at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, or Mosport as you may know, and then Catalonia National, Road Atlanta, and then I don't know if it's is it going to be a timed race at the Nordschleife, or is it going to be lap determined there, Isaac?
The Nordschleife will be timed race again. All of the races will be 20 minutes. Even though it's going to be a timed race, the drivers aren't going to be doing more than 4 laps. I think it's fairly comfortable within a 4-minute margin either side of whether it's going to be a 4-lap race. So it's almost guaranteed to be a 4-lap in both of those races. But yeah, it should be interesting. It's still going to be timed, and an absolute cracker. We saw the Porsche Esports Super Cup there last week with Sebastian Job winning race number 1, unfortunately retiring in race number 2. But as we all know, Nordschleife will be it's a great track which brings brilliant racing. It's also very difficult from a driver's standpoint. Difficulty, I'd honestly say, compared to Monza, but that's again because I'm not the most talented driver in the world.
As we have Tom Johnson having his first outing in the series tonight. He drawn in by the law of the Temple of Speed, and new liveries I haven't seen on the Sapphire Sim Sport cars previously.
Yeah, it's very nice to see a lot of new colours out here today. Like I said, we saw Keith Sigerman's out here in the ISRC TV car, as well as Louis Sanderson making his debut on. Both of those guys, ISRC TV, running black and white variants of the car. And as well, we've got new Sapphire Sim Sport liveries with Harry Harvey. We saw him in races winning last time out at Mid-Ohio. He's running a new livery, very similar to Thomas Johnson's, only whereas Thomas Johnson's got the purple on his car, Harry Harvey's running silver. In my opinion, very striking liveries, and I can't wait to see them battling out on track.
Yeah, absolutely. Perry Pineken still hasn't changed away from his trusty safety car livery, as we less than a minute now in practice, and then we will roll over to our qualifying. So the format for qualifying is a solo event. All the cars will go out individually, and they will not be able to interact with each other or see each other even. So they'll get 8 minutes to do 2 laps, and the best lap starts at the front of the field.
It's quite simple. Like you said, Martin, just as you'd see in any of your official races, we've adopted the same system that they use there, and it's proven to give some pretty good qualifying so far. It mixes things up, whereas in a lot of series you'll have, say, 15 minutes and as many laps as you want. If you make a mistake on either one of these 2 laps, then it's going to push you down the field, and we've seen that. We've seen faster guys in the race qualifying further down, and that leads to some really good battling and racing. As we see these guys who might be slightly faster a bit further back pushing their way back up through the field, and it creates some really awesome racing. I'm personally quite a big fan of the system. As it looks like we're about to advance through into qualifying now, like we were just saying. So practice has come to the end there, and the cars are about to start making their way out onto track. Outlap and then 2 flying laps, like Martin said. It'd be interesting to see who's going to be the first venturing out onto track. And it looks like it's going to be Kevin Vermont in the Mecha Esports black and red liveried car, making his way towards turn 1 on this chorus pit exit, exiting out almost onto the racing line. If you're going too wide, battling into turn 1, you've got to be careful in endurance races to make sure you're not about to rear end some car coming out of the pit lanes. I've seen it happen before in races, and luckily we're not going to be expecting any pit stops here unless somebody goes woefully wrong from these drivers. But it's a good pit lane as we've seen from compared to other tracks. As he makes his way through the curve grande.
Yeah, Kevin's just taking it easy here on his outlap. Cycles up through the gears and into the first Lesmo.
Be interesting to see if many of these drivers are going to be brake dragging, quote unquote, which we've seen cause a lot of controversy of any of you that are that follow the Porsche Esports Super Cup. If you hold full throttle in the Porsche Cup car and then hold full brake, you can get full temperature into your tyres within half a lap or so, and it's been causing quite a lot of controversy. But it looks like Kevin's opting not to do that here, whether he's decides not to do it or has got it for other reasons. Interesting to see, although there is definitely an advantage to gain from it. We'll see from the lap times if anybody else is going to take on this strategy as Kevin gets ready to start his lap. And Martin, if you wouldn't mind doing the honours of taking us for a lap around this amazing track.
I'd absolutely love to. Thank you very much, Isaac. So down to third gear through Curva Parabolica. We'll be trying to get as much power on as possible on the exit. Not too wide over the curves a little bit. There, maybe losing a bit of traction, but not too much to worry about. Up into sixth gear now, over 230 k's, 240, up to 250 kilometers now. We'll be looking for his braking point. There it is, about 170, 180 meters all the way down to first gear. Bit of understeer on the first part, has to correct it and compromise his exit through the first chicane. As he's now accelerating again up through the gears as he goes around Curva Grande, trying to take a relatively short line here and also not unsettle the car too much as he then spots his braking point into Variante della Roggia, down again to first gear. Nice bit of curve there, loses a lot of the sausage there, but not using any oversteer on the exit, so that's very good. First Lesmo coming up. Bit of a late apex this one, and then there's a nasty off track on the exit curve there, so staying well clear of that. Faster through the second Lesmo, fourth gear he's using there, surprising to me. I would have thought he'd be in third, but choosing fourth to reduce wheel spin on exit, and then now we go underneath the old banking there, and going now to Ascari, who's his braking point just before the service road. Uses a lot of curb on exit, takes it tight line on the right, and then getting all the power down as much as possible. An easy run out there. We've seen quite a few cars lose it there on exit of the Ascari chicane into the inside wall, so that'll be one to watch for in the race as we're now coming round to complete the lap, braking for the Parabolica. Down to third gear, quite an early apex Kevin's taking there. Maybe he's looking for a better run for his second lap and make sure he's got that banker in, as we shall see what he comes across the line with.
Thank you very much there, Martin, for taking us across the line. That lap there is only good enough for second place for Kevin Vermont there with a 52.1, putting him just behind our pole sitter of Lucia Malosky. That's by, he's just been pipped again by Nikodem Verbeke. So that's after one lap down so far. Lucia Malosky sitting on provisional pole position with a 51.7, first of our drivers into the 51s, and then Kevin Vermont, who we just saw there doing a lap, down in third place, 3.5 tenths off on a 52.1 there, got that out eventually. There's a couple of little mistakes in there, but nothing massive. Hopefully he'll be able to improve on this second lap as we see him taking quite a lot of that inside curb there, going through the Roger chicane, then through the Lesmos here. And if I cast my mind back to the previous rounds that we've seen so far, Martin, I actually think that every single lap that we've done on board in qualifying has been on board with Kevin. So maybe that's something that we can start doing in every round here. We do the Kevin qualifying with Mecha Esports, or one of the Mecha Esports drivers. It's something that we've done 3 rounds so far. Maybe something we could start doing every time out.
Yeah, Kevin, our qualifier, has a nice little ring to it, I guess. As we now look at James Parker, he's currently sitting top in the AM part of the grid. Going through the Variante Ascari there. I think we're seeing a little bit more, he takes a lot of curb there. He's straight over that sausage on the exit curb. And we're seeing a lot more separation between our two classes here. Usually we see our pros maybe not doing so well as some of our AMs in qualifying, but yeah, no, a bit different, but nonetheless should provide some great racing.
Yeah, just as you say that, actually, Peter Plastal's moved his way up into 6th overall, just in front of James Parker, pushing down the pro driver of Perry Pikanen. Sorry, so that's 7 tenths Peter Plastal. So we just see his car there, the black, blue and white car of Virtual Racing Compound. He's the current provisional pole sitter in AM category and 7/10 off of pole overall, which has been changed now, pipped by Tom Voss just there. Sorry, as we were talking. So that's Tom Voss has taken provisional pole position in the AM category. And the only AM driver left who might be able to improve will be Thomas Johnson. He's yet to set a lap time on his first time out. But as it looks like at the moment, Tom Voss for Team DRC's got himself a nice pole position by less than 100th of a second.
It's fantastically close. He had a bit of a coming together at the start of, I think it was the first race at Mid-Ohio. Caused a little bit of chaos further back in the field as he went off, as he challenged for the lead. It was into the third corner. But certainly on form, and if he can get a good start from pole position, then he'll be right in the hunt and hoping to gain some points on Nanzavano, who's currently down in 5th position on the grid.
Yeah, Nan's not having a brilliant qualifying efforts there, but we've seen it again. He's very similar to Peter, very cautious throughout the race, and just being able to survive and make these cautious overtakes, he's been able to push his way forward and get some good results out of this. But Tom Voss, just going back to him, he's been was incredibly unlucky this season so far. He started on pole at Silverstone in race 1, and then unfortunately didn't have a good race, falling back down the field, finishing in 10th in race 1, putting him on pole for race 2. Fortunately able to win that, and then if we then go to Mid-Ohio, he qualified inside the top 4. Unfortunately, like you said, having it coming together, pushing him back down the order towards the back. Actually, I think it was on the back row of the grid starting for race 2, and again unable to capitalize on that, and getting 2 DNFs in Mid-Ohio. But good to see him out strong again as our qualifying is finished, and we're going to look now to our front row, which is currently Tom Voss for Team DRC sat on pole position, with Luke Chmielowski just behind. That's your front row, with Kevin Vermont for Mecha Esports in 3rd, with Nick Verbecki starring in 4th place. Then in 5th, we've got Kevin Vermont's teammate, Nanzavano for Mecha Esports, and our overall championship leader. He's sat in 5th place currently, with Peter Plastow in 6th, and first of our AM drivers. Very well done from him, with James Parker for iRacing UK just behind in 7th place on the fourth row of the grid. And then Perry Peineken in 8th place. He is second last of our pro drivers, but well done for him. He's currently sat 6th of the pro drivers. As you then look back to Keith Eiserman, it's his debutant. He's one of the debutants here at Monza, and starting just behind him in 10th is Nils Leppers for German Sim Racing Friends, with Francois Coulet of Mecha Esports Academy just behind in 11th, and Harry Harvey, our winner last time out at Mid-Ohio, starting in 12th place. Looking back down the field, we've got Artie Boschart, one of the admins for ISRC, starting in 13th, ahead of our last pro car, Thomas Johnson. It's the first time that we're seeing the Sapphire Sim Sport out on the grid today. Hopefully we'll see him moving a bit further forward in the race, as I know personally that Tom's quite a fan of Monza, and he's good in these race sessions, so we should be able to see him push forwards. And then another one of our first-time runners out in the series, Louis Sanderson, running the ISRC TV car, starting in 15th and last for race number 1. Maybe he shouldn't have taken on that 666 number, as so far it hasn't been the best for him.
No, but let's just hope that he doesn't turn into the devil of a bowling ball, I suppose. It appears we have a rolling start here, Isaac.
It does indeed. Unfortunately, that would be an error on my end for not setting up a standing start, unfortunately. As the drivers get away, I'm afraid it's nothing we'll be able to do about this for the moment.
Bit of a curveball for a bit of a surprise, a bit of an Easter pre-Good Friday surprise for our competitors, and let's see how they adapt to this.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting seeing another Porsche safety car, the actual safety car, in front this time. Hopefully it shouldn't cause any problems. Actually, might cause less problems as the drivers will already be moving when they launch away. This time, as you see them weaving in the background to try and get some heat into the tyres before they start this race. Yeah, it's a bit of a curb in there. We apologise to any of the drivers who are listening to this, or anybody. It's supposed to be a static start. We're sorry that we made this error. We'll make sure this doesn't happen again in the future, as the safety car unexpectedly pulls off into the pit lane any second now, and Tom Voss, our pole sitter, is going to be ready to take the start of the race. Lucha Milosky getting up close, as it looks like, and away he goes, decided to start the race now as we go green for the start of the race. Tom Voss getting an amazing start there, pulling away from Lucha Milosky, with Kevin Vermont just sitting just behind. No, he's not. Sorry, Kevin Vermont pulling out to the outside now. Is he going to be able to make his way around Lucha Milosky into turn 1? Coming down into the heavy braking zone, braking early, and it looks like Luke's got him on the inside. Yes, he does, as further down Weatherfield they're going 2x2 through the chicane. Kevin Vermont's too wide further back, that time with Nicodem Verbicki for Ignan Motorsports there, as he makes his way through Curva Grande. And it looks like Verbicki's just managed to get his way past Kevin Vermont in the Mecha Esports car. And looks like Verbicki's about to try and move up the inside of Lucha Milosky, able to get it stopped just in time. Luke's going to try the over-under through the chicane. Brave of him to try that. Not able to get it on at the moment, and he's under pressure again from Kevin Vermont just behind. Kevin trying it up the inside, can't make it happen. As we come halfway around the lap into Lesmo 2s, and Tom Voss has got a good start there. And Verbicki's managed to go from 4th up into 2nd after just half a lap.
Yeah, it's a fantastic start that Tom Voss has made, clearing off into the distance. He'll be hoping to break the slipstream, whereas the train of 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 cars behind him will be looking to close that gap up. And Niels Lepers there in the background in the 220 car of German sim racing friends will be hoping that these guys squabble a bit so he can catch up with them. But yeah, as you say, Verbicki, Chmielowski, Vemont and our AM leader Plastow in that lead group, that second place group. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, also races we see here is we see Luke Chmielowski make a move with the inside. It looks like Verbicki's blocking, saying no you don't. He sits behind him just for the moment, aggressively defending there from Verbicki. So it's going to be the same order that we saw going into Lesbo 1s at the moment. Tom Voss after 1 lap leads the race with Nicodem Verbicki from 4th up into 2nd place in 3rd. Luke Chmielowski's down into 3rd place, and Kevin Vermont starting in 3rd, down into 4th. Peter Plastow's managed to gain 1 position past Nanzavano into 5th. He's the first of our AM drivers, with Niels Lepers just behind it in 7th place. As it looks like Chmielowski's going to try and move the inside. He can't get the car stopped and has decided to go straight on at the chicane rather than causing any accidents there. Well avoided by him. That's a good bit of hindsight from the Polish driver there. Yeah,
absolutely. As I think we might have had one of the Sapphire Sport cars off in the background, unfortunately. Harry Harvey, I believe that was off. But yeah, Chmielowski will be falling back down through the pack as Tom Voss and Verbicki are side by side through the second chicane, as maybe Veermont goes as well, but no, he's flashing his lights in frustration as well as Voss gives a bit of side-to-side contact with Verbicki towards Lesmo 1. Verbicki's going to get that position, and Veermont is blinking to me. No, he's slotted back into 3rd place. Some fantastic racing.
I know, brilliant racing to see so far from these guys at the front. Quite respect, a little bit of door bagging there from Tom Voss and Verbicki as they make their way up. But other than that, leaving plenty of room for another, and very well done. Kevin Vermont getting trying to make his way through wide. We saw there on the exit chicane, decided to make the best of it. And just behind him, got Peter Plastow. He's gained 2 positions off the start of the race so far. An AM driver who's currently sat in 4th and challenging the front runner. So awesome to see him up there battling. And this is what I mean about Monza. We see here all these cars just in the slipstream train as Verbicki pulls over to the right-hand side of the track to try and break the slipstream. Also the grass there, 1 wheel of the grass making his way down towards Parabolica. Brilliant racing so far from these guys at the front.
Yeah, massive train of 8 there going through the Parabolica. Such a fantastic sight to see, as that's Keith Eiserman and Francois Coulet, I believe, side by side on the exit of the Parabolica. They'll be drag racing all the way down the front straight, past the huge Tifosi crowd that is in today. Looks like Eiserman's going to have the position this time round, but he's going to potentially be compromised through the chicane due to his shallower entry. Manages to get it stopped and consolidated that position. Eiserman's still in the same position that he started on the grid. Francois Coulet's 1 up, and he'll be looking for another position, as Tom Johnson at the back of shot has gained 3 positions so far after not setting a qualifying time. Be looking to pick off these guys, as he is the last of our pro runners, sitting in 11th overall. Fantastic shot of use of curves through that corner. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, as we now look forward onto the back of this train, Luke Chmielewski's dropped back even more places, after he took his slowdown for cutting the start there. He's back down into 7th overall. In front of him is the AMS car of Niels Leppers, that's German sim racing friends. Is he going to try and move up the inside into Ascari here? He looks like he might be close enough in the slipstream as we see him, pulling up to the inside. Is going to be able to outbrake him. Is he close enough? No, he's not. And actually, he's come across the front of Perry Pinakin there, going into that braking zone. Looked like pulling out of that slipstream meant that Perry was able to pull up just behind and then moving over slightly. Unfortunately, nothing Perry could have done there. He was just a passenger in all that.
Oh, that's such a shame to see. No, not the greatest race for Chmielewski, unfortunately. I was wondering how his top speed might be with that front-end damage that he sustained at the first chicane, but yeah, he's got a lot of work to do now. That's for sure. It's the distance.
Yep, as we now look up to the front of our field, this is Kevin Vermont under pressure from Tom Voss behind for Team DRC there. And he's going to be on the outside for turn 1. Let's see what Tom Voss can do. He's going to be able to brake later. He's slightly behind as they brake and make their way down to turn 1. And it looks like Tom's deciding to make best of it. Just sit just behind Kevin there, deciding not to make a move at the moment. It's easy to make a move up the inside into turn 1. If you're sat on the outside, it's a bit harder. And yeah, a bit more of a struggle for these guys to stick it around the outside.
Yeah, and you don't want to lose too much place. As Vermont goes up the Vermont goes up the inside and has to cut through the second part of the rest of the Ilio chicane, or De La Roggia, sorry. As we had a spinner in the background of Nanzivano, our overall championship leader into this round. So that's not going well for him. He's dropping back to 9th place, just ahead of the ISRC TV on-off car.
Yeah, that looks like Louis Sanderson trying to make his way up the field. He's actually gained 5 places off the start after starting in 9th, and now he's behind our championship leader, Nanzivano. Nan's not having a brilliant race so far, dropping down the orders. We saw him at the back of that gaggle of pro qualifiers. And actually, if you look just in front of Nanzivano, you can see the Mecha Esports Academy car of Francois Coulet.
Yeah, absolutely right. So the Academy car beating the full-blooded Mecha Esport car of Ivano at the moment. I wonder if we'll see a little bit of team tactics perhaps later in the race. As a position that Coulet would give up, but then again he's getting past Eiserman now and onto the back of Tom Johnson there. He's got past both of them, so that's a fantastic run from the Mecha Esports car. Cuts in front of Tom Johnson, and Ivano's cut up the inside of Johnson as well. 3 of them breaking in a line there, and Ivano on the left of shot. Looks like they've gone side by side there, Tom Johnson and Ivano.
As we see just in the back of shot there, Louis Sanderson making a slight mistake and getting overtaken by Keith Eiserman. So very well done there by Keith, managing to make it up. As we look just ahead, Thomas Johnson still side by side with Nanzivano. Is he going to be able to make a move up the inside here into Roger Chicane? He's looking for that bridge, that braking marker, as he brakes hard on the brakes down into second gear it'll be, and he's managed to make the move stick up the inside. That's Thomas Johnson 7 positions off the start of the race, putting him into 7th overall. And it's not all over. If we look behind, Keith Userman is now trying it on Nanzivano, the Frenchman for Mecha Esports. You can't get a break here.
No, absolutely not. This is furious and frantic. So as Tom Voss is off there on the right-hand side at the exit of the second Lesmo. Oh my goodness. He's 9th at the moment, trying to drop 10th, maybe 11th and 12th positions.
I can't see any damage on that car, so hopefully he didn't hit anything, or if he did, he only did it lightly and he'll be able to keep on pushing forwards. It'd be interesting to see a replay if we can, what happened there, because yeah, it looks like he might have just spun it by himself onto that inside wall. As we cut back to a replay now, as he comes in towards Lesmo number 2. Is he going to drop it by himself? Yes, he does, just taking slightly too much on that inside curb. Not hitting anything. No, he didn't. Very well by him not to hit anything. Able to get going again, and tried to see him push forward.
Yeah, I'd be frustrated with that. Looked like he got a bit too greedy with the inside curve there, and the car came round on him. Tricky rear engine, fickle 911s that we have here as Kevin Vermont goes in front of our AM class leader, Peter Plastow, into the first chicane.
He's not only the AM class leader, he's also third overall. That's our battle for second place. We've had Peter Plastow, who started in 6th place, has managed to make his way up into third. Overall, amazing drive for him, and not only has he made it up to third, he's going to try and keep on going and challenging Kevin Vermont for that second place on the podium.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff. And as you can see there on the graphic in the top left, we see the top 6 positions of all, top 6 positions on track at the moment have all gained places. So that shows you a bit of the attrition that's gone on. Our biggest mover so far is Mr. Tom Johnson. Oh no, as Keith Eisman in the ISRC TV car goes for a spin at the second chicane. That's a shame to see, but it does now put both of the ISRC TV cars on track together, which is nice to see.
Yeah, it's nice to see the two cars, black and white, together on track, doing ISRC TV proud at the back of the grid. Wouldn't expect anything less, boys. Thank you very much. As we now look up to this battle between the Mecha Esports, Francois Coulet in the Mecha Esports AM car, that's a silver and red, with his big brother team of Mecha Esports, Nans Ivano, just behind in the number 17 car. Is Nans going to make a move down here into Parabello? Is he going to be close enough? No, he's not, deciding not to make anything of it for the moment. And Tom Johnson is actually under pressure as well there from Francois Coulet. This is amazing. You can't get a break here. You try to pull away, get a good corner exit, but the straights are so long that you just get caught again in this slipstream. And if you lose the trail of the car ahead, then that's you done. You're waiting until got to wait until the next pack catches back up again. And you can see these little 3-car trains forming and catching up to these little stragglers. They've got about the places. Francois Coulet tries to make a move up the inside. Is he close enough? No, he's not. Is he going to be under pressure from Nans Ivano behind? Can't see at the moment. Yes, he is. Nans is pushing him through the corner, and Tom Johnson runs deep on the exit. Francois Coulet is going to have the outside for Curva Grande, although it doesn't look like there's any overlap at the moment, unless I'm mistaken. No, there's not. Is he going to pull into the slipstream? See, is trying to make a move up here into Roger Chicane. He's actually now going for the outside into Roger Chicane. Thomas Johnson is going to be defending on the inside. Is he going to make anything stick of it? No, it's not. And Thomas Johnson leads through out of the Roger Chicane.
Well, he did well to keep that. Yeah, I think Francois Coulet was going to need a bit of a turbo to go around the outside of Curva Grande there, but he's holding on well from Nans Ivano behind him. Tom Johnson is our biggest mover or biggest positive mover of the race so far, with up 9 positions. So he's done a cracking job and is therefore sitting in third. And well, if we were to discount the AM category cars, we'd be sitting in third overall. But with those included, then you would only get points for 5th position as we stand at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be too fussed about that. He's just gained 9 positions, so he's going to be trying to do his best to make his way forward. And the next on his list will be Nils Leppers in the 220 German Sim Racing and Friends car, as we're looking back on board with Francois Coulet. And we've seen this again, him under pressure from Nans Ivano in the Mecha Esports car. As actually it looks like Tom Johnson getting double drafted by the 2 Mecha Esports cars. You see Coulet running deep out of the corner exit, and Tom Johnson's now slot right under the rear wing of Nans Ivano. Is he going to be able to make a move? Is he going to make it 3 wide going on to start-finish straight? Yes, he is. Thomas Johnson in the middle, 3 wide of that Mecha Esports sandwich. The Sapphire Sims car in the middle. Who's going to have the best run down into turn 1? You can't put 3 cars into turn 1 there, lads. Somebody's going to have to pull out of this.
Yeah, I'm closing my eyes already. You're going to have to tell me how this goes, because this could be very interesting indeed. But Ivano is still down the inside as Tom Johnson slots in behind. Yes, he does. Ivano gives him plenty of space, which is fantastic to see. Tom Johnson's recently transferred to triple screens, so he should have no excuse for not knowing where any car is ahead of him, as he slots still into the Mecha Esports sandwich, but they're all in a line now rather than side by side.
This is great stuff to watch here, as we just saw Nans Ivano going from the back of this train up to the front in just 2 corners there. Amazing stuff to see. And Thomas Johnson isn't putting a second waste, as he's now attacking Nans Ivano in that Mecha Esports car. Is he going to be able to get close enough to make a move? And Francois Coulet has dropped down 1 position again after being passed by Nans, and now it looks like it's going to be change of order, with Coulet's going to be bump drafting Tom up past. So they make their way onto the back straight now, down towards Ascari. Francois Coulet's dropped off the back of this here, not able to keep up with the 2 pro drives, it looks like. Is Tom going to be close enough to make a move? No, he is not. Riding on board with him. down into Ascari, missing the apex slightly there, and then taking maybe a little bit too much curb. Might say, yeah, it looks like Nance just got a slightly better run through that time. But it's not going to stop Tom. He's going to still try to do his best to catch up to Nance and make the pass. With 15 minutes into the race, just 5 minutes to go now before the end. It's been an absolute thriller of a race so far. Please do stick around. And if you want to get involved, come join us in our Discord just below in the description. You can click there and you can find more information about the championship. As we look back at this battle here, this is our pole sitter Tom Voss pressuring our race 2 winner at Mid-Ohio, Harry Harvey for Sapphire Simsport. Tom Voss is going to be trying it up the inside now into turn 1. He's going to be able to draft past Harry down towards Toa, yes, and he's passed before they get into the braking zone. Harry Harvey's been demoted back down 10th place, and Tom Voss moves his way up into 9th.
As we now look back at the head of the field, Verbeke is still in the lead ahead of Vermont, and Peter Plastow still doing a fantastic job by hanging on to their coattails. In 3rd place, Verbeke goes for a huge slide at the exit halfway through first Lesmo. Let's see if Vermont can capitalise on that mistake. He's right tucked up underneath his rear wing. Here we are on board now. Fantastic shot. Thank you, Kevin, for the... Sorry, Kevin Vincent for the... he's got a new name now. As he looks down the inside, there's plenty of overlap there. Verbeeke's going to have to give him space. As he slides it through, looks like he give that... Oh! Contact made! Or did he lose it by himself? I'm not sure. That's just a real shame to see. He's going to get overtaken by Niels Leopards as well as he rejoins the circuit. I didn't quite catch that. Peter Plastow must be rubbing his hands with glee at the moment. There's just over 3 minutes left. Well, I think the stewards might have to look at that one post the evening. I don't know if there was a bit of contact. There was plenty of overlap there, but that's really unfortunate to see for a lead battle.
It is indeed, and actually, if we look a bit forward, I'm looking at my timing screens now. It looks like Peter Plastow's actually managed to make it past Verbeke. So Plastow there, yep, up into 1st place. The AM drivers gained 5 positions off the start. From 6th place up into the lead of the race. He's doing a brilliant drive so far. We were saying in practice about how his pace wasn't quite here, but he's just got this ability to keep the car on track and make these smart overtakes where he can, and that's what he's done so far this race. And look where he is now. He's up into 1st place. Brilliant drive from the AM driver so far. And Verbeke isn't able to hold on to the back of him. He's dropped back. The gap is over 1.5 seconds now. Has Verbeke got damage, or is he under fuel? This is incredible stuff to see with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's absolutely outstanding. I looked onto our internal chat for a moment and then looked back, and all of a sudden Plastow's in the lead. Yeah, he's I'll be honest here, Isaac, he's made a bit of a mockery of our supposed Pro Cup drivers. Just consistency has been the way forward, as we have seen a lot of attrition from the top half of the field.
As we now cut back to Louis Sanderson, he's in the little 3-way battle here with James Parker for iRacing UK just up ahead, and our other ISRC TV car of Kees Eichmann back in 14th place behind. So this is our battle for 12th. All three AM drivers. James Parker and Kees Eichmann are both AM drivers. Louis Sanderson is running an invitational entry. That's a car which we're just swapping around. It won't be scoring any points, regardless of finishing positions, and won't be included in the final results. But it looks like he's got a little bit of a dogfight here with James Parker and Kees Eichmann. Kees, we've seen fast in the past, and he's right underneath that rear wing. Is he going to be able to make a move done as he makes a look up the inside on the run down towards Parabolica? Is he going to be able to make it stick coming into the braking zone? Louis trying it late round the outside. Is he going to be able to hold it? Getting on throttle. They're still side by side, a bit of overlap, and it looks like Louis tried to do the over-under on him. So we saw Kees sliding to the outside. It looks like there might still be a little bit of overlap there as they make their way down, and fortunately it looks like Kees is blinking a little bit. They're having some connection issues, And Louis going to pull to the inside. He's got to make a move back up the inside after that big over-under coming out of the Parabolica. Down into the braking zone. No, it looks like Louis Sanderson's not quite close enough to make that move into turn one. So that's a move for Keith Eichmann there, moving him up into 13th place. And that, to me, looks like 6th in the AM standings.
Yeah, we had a message from Nick McLaughlin, who is watching live with us on our ISRC TV YouTube channel, and he reckons that maybe Verbeke is giving the place back to Veermont here, so that's maybe why he dropped back.
It's very gentlemanly of him, if he is choosing to do that. Yeah, as we see him pulling over to the side, is he going to let him by? Yes, he is. So that's Verbeke letting Kevin by. He's done a very good job there to let Kevin by and not Nanzivado. So very gentlemanly there, Verbeke. It'll be good to have a chat with him after the race and see why he did that. Maybe he felt that he was at fault there. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it on stream, and it looks like he's now falling back and letting other drivers through. And was that a bit of contact between him and the Mecha Esports Academy car, Francois Coulet?
I think he might be running out of fuel, therefore. I think he's predicted 1 lap less than actual has come to fruition. Maybe the rolling start put him off, perhaps. But as it seems as if his car is stuttering a bit as the 2 Sapphire Simsport cars go past. Yeah, I think he's got the clutch in and rolling over the line. Oh, that's unfortunate to see. But no doubt he'll bounce back to race 2.
Yeah, unfortunate to see there. The driver's not able to anticipate. The driver started an error on our end, and we apologise for that for any of the teams and drivers that are involved in that. We're sorry, and make sure that doesn't happen again in the future. Waiting for our final 3 drivers to come across the line still, as Keith and Louis both come across the line, as we're now waiting for Artie Boschart for Stage 1 racing, coming through Parabolica. A little bit of a lonely race for himself as he comes across the line to finish in 15th place.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Artie had a couple of spins and things throughout that race. I saw on the ticker, and you could see a little bit of rear wing damage there going on. But it's not one of the cars that he often drives, and I think he's out there just enjoying learning how to drive this thing.
Yeah, that's it. At the end of the day, everybody's just trying to out there to have fun, and it's good to see that the guys are enjoying themselves where they can. As we bring out the race results from race number 1 at Monza, Peter Plastow, our AM driver, after qualifying in 6th place, is able to make his way up into 1st. Brilliantly done by him. First of our AM drivers to ever win a race here overall, and very well done. As in 2nd place, we've got Nanzivano and his teammate Kevin Vermont taking 2nd and 3rd respectively on the podium. As you look down into 4th, and that's our 2nd AM driver, Nils Lepers. He's finished in 4th overall for German Sim Racing Friends, with Francois Coulet, the Mecha Esports Academy car, in 5th. Perry Pikanen, a bit of a lonely race for him. We haven't really seen much of him going on. He's finished down in 6th place, just ahead of our pole sitter for race number 1, down in 7th. That's our 2 DRC cars. And following the 2 DRC cars, we've got our 2 Sapphire Simsport cars, Harry Harvey and Thomas Johnson finishing in 8th and 9th respectively. And then Nico Verbeke, as we see him finishing in 10th place. Maybe him running out of fuel was beneficial for him, as it means that now he's going to be able to start on pole for race number 2. In 11th place, our 2nd place qualifier, Luke Chmielowski, for Lithium Motorsports, finished in 11th place, with James Parker for iRacing UK in 12th. Keith Eichmann, Louis Sanderson, and Artie Boschart finished 13th, 14th, and 15th respectively in race 1, and it's all to race for in race 2.
Yeah, absolutely right. As we will bring into the commentary box our AM leader, but not only our AM winner, but our overall winner for that race. He is the first AM class driver to win a race overall in ISRPC. How do you feel, Pete?
Pretty lucky, to be honest. I think it was more luck than skill. Just keeping it on the road. And the guys in front of me made loads of mistakes, so that was it. Nothing more to it.
As we were saying that in qualifying, and like you were saying in the previous rounds, survival is the key thing in these Porsche Cup races, and that was a perfect example of it. We saw you qualify in 6th place and then just survive and make your way up into first, which is very well done.
100%, yeah.
Done from yourself. I'm going to ask you the same questions I asked before. Is that consistency, is it down to practice, or have you just got a setup that it's just impossible to spin on?
It's definitely not impossible. There was once or twice that I nearly lost the back end. But yeah, just consistency is what I work on. I'm never very quick over one lap, but I work on my consistency quite a lot, and that's what the races are, is being consistent. So that's where it's at. And I didn't overtake anybody on that race that didn't make a mistake, so that's the key to it.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what the other drivers need.
I should take away my secret, should I?
Well, yeah. I hope your fellow drivers can take heed of what the show that you put on there. That was absolutely fantastic. How did you find our April Fool's gag of the rolling start there?
Oh, is that what it was? We were all a little bit confused about it on the grid, to be honest. When we were all lined up, I was a bit. I did mention it in my stream that it's a rolling start. Yeah, I was looking forward to it. I've never done a standing start on this track, so I was quite looking forward to that. But
yeah, if it wasn't April Fool, it's an error on our end. We'll be honest with you. Which we apologise for a few things I've said in the game chat. It'll be rolling start again for race number 2. You'll be starting in 10th this time.
Yeah.
This is your first time, like I said, starting in 10th in race 2. I imagine you're just going to take the same strategy that you've taken forward in every other race and just try and keep it clean.
Yeah, it'll be a get through turn 1. That's what all that will matter, is getting through turn 1 in one piece, and then we'll work from there, work forward, and we'll see where we get to.
Excellent. Well, we're going to wish you the best of luck in race number 2. We'll let you get away. Thank you very much. Best of luck for race 2.
Cheers. Catch you later.
So that was our race number 1 winner, AM driver Peter Plastal there for virtual racing Compound Blue. Very well driven by him. That was a insane race from start to finish. We saw, if I'm not mistaken, we had 5 different cars lead that race there over the point of the 20-minute race. You just couldn't catch a second's breath. It was incredible stuff to watch. Anything you could take from it, Martin? Any comments you can pick up from that?
I think it's exactly. I'm going to have to reiterate what Pete Plastal said. We have to. You have to stay on. To finish first. First, you must finish, and Pete did that, and a brilliant display of that. Yeah, as I said in the race, like he's showing up our he's showing up our supposed pro drivers there, so I'm sure they're going to be fired up for race 2. It will be a reverse top 10 in race 2, so he'll be starting in 10th, and I wonder if he could win again.
All eyes will be on him and his survival strategy as we're gonna pull up into the commentary booth. Our 2nd and 3rd place finishers, both Mecha Esports driver Kevin Vermont and Nanzivano from race 1. What happened out on track there, guys? It looks like you had a pretty awesome battle from start to finish, and at the end we saw Verbiki falling back, and also we saw the incident with you, Kevin, in the mid parts of the race. Can you just talk us through what happened there?
Yes, it's a very hard race. I don't know why ISRPC defending very hard. It's very very hard close racing, but it's at Ascari. It's my mistake. I don't leave a space for ISRPC, but for overtake him, it's very very difficult defending very hard. It's I think it's a little fair play, but it's a race, no problem.
Yeah, very well said. Very honest of you to say that you felt that you're at fault there. So again, to look over to yourself, Nanzivano, we saw you had a bit of a battle earlier on with Tom Johnson and your academy driver, Francois Coulet. We saw you do this, frankly, amazing double overtake in the slipstream. Can you talk us through that? It looked like something awesome to be involved in.
Yes, it's a good race. A good job for François Coulet. Very good battle with Thomas Johnson, and very happy for his second place. Monza, it's very hard, but it's good.
Yeah, thank you very much for your words there. We'll let you get away as we've only got a minute and a half before we get through into race 2. You guys will be starting in 9th and 8th for race number 2. So we're going to wish you the best of luck going forward, and hopefully we'll see you in the commentary box again soon after some good results.
Thanks.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks.
That was our 2 Mecha Esports drivers, Kevin Vermont and Nanzavano there, finishing 2nd and 3rd respectively. So just got a minute left of our race 2 warm-up, where drivers can go and get a drink, go to the toilet, or just make those slight setup changes that they might want to do for race number 2. The track's going to be slightly cooler than it was in race 1. And obviously they're going to be starting in different positions, so we might see some strategies changing on how the driver's going to be attacking. As we're now looking on somebody who didn't have a particularly good race, Luke Chmielowski started in 2nd and unfortunately dropped all the way back down into 11th place. So he's going to be one to keep an eye on, making his way up the grid in race number 2. And somebody else who'll be looking to work forward, Keith Eiserman. We saw he was very fast in practice and in qualifying, so he might be someone to keep an eye on, seeing if he's going to make a move forward up through the grid. They're 2 people to watch out for. And who's our pole sitter as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The reverse grid format of race 2 will always throw up some great racing, as we've seen already in the series. I can't wait to see it, as I believe 10 minutes of warm-up is up and we shall start gridding imminently.
Yep, as the drivers are only going to have 30 seconds this time before the pace car pulls away for the start of race number 2. Again, I'd like to apologise. It's a rolling start. We traditionally run standing starts at the start of our races, but unfortunately, due to an admin error, this is going to be a rolling start for this one, which should spice things up a bit down in towards turn 1.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Verbeke on pole for Ignium Motorsport in his grey car. Alongside him will be the Tom Johnson in the new liveried Sapphire Simsport car with the pink or purple stripe down the middle of it that we can see there. Start of row 2 will be the head of our Amfield, Harry Harvey, winner in race 2 at Mid-Ohio. Alongside him, Tom Voss for Team DRC in the white and orange car. Perry Pineken in the safety car for Team DRC will start on the inside of row 3. And Francois Coulet in the Mecha Esports Academy car on the outside there. Niels Leppers for German Sim Racing Friends in the 220 car will be in 7th. And Kevin Vermont, Mecha Esports, in 8th. Nanzavano, Mecha Esports colleague, behind Vermont in 9th place, and Peter Plastow, our race 1 winner, our AM winner, overall winner, in 10th position. And then Luke Chmielowski just missed out on the reverse grid position in 11th place there. James Parker in 12th. As hopefully we can see the rest of the grids. Let's see if... As James Parker, Louis Sanderson will be in Keith Eisman will be in 13th, Louis Sanderson in 14th, so that's an all ISRC TV row, and then Artie Boschart for Stage 1 Racing will be bringing up the rear in 15th place.
As we were just saying at the interval, there's some cars to watch out for further back down the field. For you, as you don't know who you're going to be looking out for, that Lithium Motorsports car. That's like a dark bluey grey sort of coloured car. Luke Chmielowski and Keith Eiserman in the white ISRC TV car. They're the ones you're going to want to keep an eye on, making their way forward as the drivers made their way round Parabolica now. About to start the race. Verbicki's going to be dictating this one, waiting for the iRacing to go green. When's he going to go? He's gone now. Halfway around Parabolica. Tom Johnson managed to get a good start there. Not getting jumped all too much, and Tom Voss is trying to drag his way up along with Tom. Harry Harvey just on the inside there, missing out on this slipstream train that we can see going forward. Tom Johnson defending down in towards turn 1 as Tom Voss is going to look on the outside now. Luke Verbicki leads his way down to turn 1, and Tom Voss trying it around the outside of Johnson. Is he going to be able to make it stick? A lot of room left by one another. Very well driven by them. And it looks like, yeah, Voss has managed to get by, and Johnson has also been passed by Peineken. So both of the Team DRC cars managing to make their way up into second and third. And not a brilliant start there for Sapphire Simsport.
No, not a good start at all, but it does put them line astern with... Oh, Eiserman spinner in the middle of Curva Grande. Oh, I don't know. I think he's been hit by... Might have been James Parker. Oh, no, the two ISRC TV cars and Artie Bosch start of Stage 1 racing on the left have all been collected in that. I think Artie is going to be able to carry on. There's a bit of damage there to James Parker's iRacing UK car. Eiserman has towed to the pits, unfortunately, so not a great showing from him. I wonder what happened there, but yeah, unfortunate to see an incident that far back in the pack after we had very clean racing at the front.
Unfortunate to see James Parker getting caught up in that after a really good showing at Mid-Ohio. He'll be wanting to recover and perhaps make better points as we see Luke Chmielowski trailing up the inside now. He's been to 8th place going into Ascari, squeezing his way past Francois Coulet in the Mecca Esports Academy car, and Mecca Esports in the background there. That's Nanzivano making his way past Francois Coulet. Big brother, little brother going back, and Peter Plastow is trying to make his way by as we see Francois Coulet getting on the grass on the exit down the straight there. Almost losing the car, but that's a good start so far by Luke Chmielowski, up 3 places off the start. As we now look forward to the front of our pack, Tom Voss is putting Nico Verbicki under pressure on his way down towards turn 1, trying to sit in that slipstream, trying to make a move if he can. As he's looking at his braking board, he pulls out alongside. Can he brake later? Just about gaining at the end of the braking zone. Is they going to leave enough space for one another? Leaving a respectful amount of room. Is there going to be enough on exit? Tom Voss getting a bit of a side-on, slight contact there between himself and our leader, Nick Verbicki. And they're going to be side by side, running down towards Curva Grande. And we see in our backup shot there, Tom Johnson trying to make a move up on Perry Peineken. He's slipstreaming along. Tom John's going to make a move, actually. So Nick Verbicki's going to be up the inside going into Roger Chicane. Tom Voss not able to make a move there. So it's the same order that we had across the line the halfway around the lap. Very well held there by Nick Verbicki. And as we look at the backer shot, Harry Harvey still able to keep up with the pro driver of Tom Johnson. So that's Sapphire Simsport in 4th and 5th. And just behind, we've got Kevin Vermont finishing P2 in race number 1. He's going to be looking to make his move past Harry Harvey anytime soon. Back now with Luke Chmielowski. As we see Tom Voss trying it around the outside of Verbicki. Verbicki defending up the inside, doesn't want to give up that position yet anytime soon, as it looks like Tom Voss is going to have the slipstream coming down towards Parabolica. It's very strong, the slipstream here. We've seen it in the past with Tom Johnson in race 1 being able to get double drafted alongside. And is Tom Voss going to be able to make his way up the inside? He's shown a nose and he's got some overlap going down towards turn number 1, leaving racing room for one another. He's going to have the inside, so he's going to be taking the shorter line. However, Verbicki's going to have a longer run and able to get his power down like we saw there. That was the longer run, less wheel spin. So Verbicki able to get the power down better as Tom Voss pulls to the inside. Is Verbicki going to leave room for him? Squeezing here very toughly. No, there's a contact together, and Perry Peineken gets involved in that as well. Be interesting to see what the steward's going to say, and Tom Voss goes straight on as well at turn number 1. Verbicki rejoining back onto the track. He's going to have a slowdown for that as we see the 2 DRC cars making their way through that chicane. If you cut turn 1, you've got to take those bollards there. And Tom Johnson, he's going to be a big beneficiary of this as the cars up ahead are all going to have slowdowns. It looks like Tom Voss has been caught by one of the iRacing bollards. Hopefully that's not going to be affecting his car too much. as Tom Johnson's going to be trying it around the outside. Can he make it work? No, he can't. You can see Tom Voss shaking, trying to get that bollard unstuck. He's not able to get it unstuck at the moment, and it despawns there. And looks like Tom Johnson's only managed to gain one place, and Nick Verbeke has pulled over to the side, perhaps to serve the rest of that slowdown and let the top 3 through.
Yeah, blimmin' amazing scenes there into turn 1. I think Verbeke held his line there against the edge of the white line, so I think he's thinking about the iRacing Sporting Code, about where the white line exists and how you can pass or not pass there, but I'm sure the stewards will receive a report, and I'm sure the stewards will look at that incident anyway, and everybody will learn from it. Unfortunate to see contact made, and the fact that they also collected Perry Pineken as well, but safety car not being in a particularly safe position there at that point in time.
Yeah, we saw him just having a little tap with the barrier. It looks like he's got a bit of front-end damage, but hopefully that's not going to affect him too much, as we're now looking at Harry Harvey. He's going to be trying to make a move past Kevin, who we saw passing him a minute ago. And Verbeke, he was in first place this time last laps, dropped his way all the way back down into 4th, and Tom Johnson's now the one challenging Tom Voss for the lead of the race. This train of cars in the slipstream weaving their way along the straight, trying to break the draft. And it looks like Tom's not going to be close enough. Tom Johnson's not going to be close enough to make a move on Tom Voss down towards turn 1. And Perry Pineken closing up into the braking zone, as their line astern further back down the pack, getting very close and personal with one another. As you see this array of colour of cars making their way through Curva Grande on lap number 4 of the race. As you see the cars streaming their way down towards the Roger chicane. And Lucian Malosky, we said keep an eye on him. He's gained 4 positions so far. He's going to be looking to make another one up here with Harry Harvey, the AM driver, just in front of him. Harry's been pushed a bit further back down the field throughout this race, but it's managed, but only being passed by Pro Driver. He's still sitting first in the AM cars, and if we look just behind Luke, we can see Nils Leppers in the green and white German sim racing friends car. That's our 2nd place AM. So Harry Harvey's currently got a buffer of just Luke Chmielowski between him and the 2nd place car, and it looks like Luke's going to try and overtake now, looking up the inside. And Harry's just giving the position. He didn't want to battle. He's going to stick to his AM championship, letting Luke Chmielowski through into a Ascari chicane. And now Harry Harvey's going to be doing his best to keep on the back of the Frenchman.
Yes, Niels Leppers has been passed by Pete Plasteau, our race 1 winner. So Pete will now be trying to keep Niels behind him as Niels looks to the inside into the Parabolica. As alongside, no overlap there, pulled out of it probably wisely. Be hoping for a better run down to the first corner. But I wonder if Harry Harvey ahead of him in the Sapphire SimSport car is shaking in his boots a bit, as Pete Plasteau is potentially going to be bearing down on him in a couple of laps.
And they're 2 by 2. If we look at the front here, they've got the top 6 all side by side going down towards turn 1. Thomas Johnson in the number 55 cars challenging Tom Voss for the lead of the race. Nico Verbeeke's managing to barge his way past Perry Pineken, and Kevin from Monza able to make his way past us also. Kevin's gained 2 places here in that little scrap they've got there. And Tom Johnson is going to be trying up the inside again. Now, going into the chicane, he's actually trying the outside this time, it looks like. Tom Voss just cutting back in front. Tom Johnson not able to get alongside. Now the top 3 are all there that you're looking at on screen, less than a car's length apart from one another, practically bump drafting their way down into Lesmo number 1. And it looks like Tom Johnson's ran slightly deep.
Yeah, he's going to need a postcode for that Apex. We'll send it to him afterwards. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. As he's under pressure again from Verbeke. Yeah, just missing those apeces there. But he's forced Verbeke to the outside. He's hoping to hold on into Ascari, but we've seen robust manoeuvres from Verbeke, as the Mecha Esports guys said it between races as well. So he makes that move stick. Maybe Tom Johnson heard the interviews happen and decided better off it at this stage in the race, as we're not even halfway through this 20-minute sprint race.
Yep, and this stream of cars is keeping us on our toes, as we see Kevin Vermont's going to try and look up the inside, but he's not deciding to do anything of it now. And a bit further back down the field, just coming into shot now, that's your AM leaders, Harry Harvey and Peter Plastow. But we're now looking at Thomas Johnson, who's going to be trying to make a move on Nick Verbecki, and we saw him go across the white line there. Tom Johnson this time not getting squeezed, and he's fully alongside now. He's going to be able to outbrake Verbecki going down in towards turn 1, and Kevin Vermont also just up the inside. Is he going to make a move? No, he's not. He's pulling out, and he's under pressure from Pinekin from just behind. Tom Johnson trying up the inside. It's going to be the outside for the second part of the chicane, and just getting on the grass and spinning out there. No, unfortunately collecting Verbecki as well in all of that. Verbecki got spun around that, and it looked like Kevin Vermont didn't have anywhere to go and just tapping the rear end. Hopefully Verbecki's not going to have any damage from that with these Porsches being rear-engined. And that's unfortunate to see. Looks like Tom Johnson just got a wheel on the gravel there and started to spin the car around. As we now look on to Harry Harvey, and he's managed to gain on this place up into 3rd overall. But more importantly, he's been able to pull out a gap to the car behind, a Peter Plastow. And Kevin Vermont's dropping all the way back through the field. With his Nanzavano, his teammate, managing to slip his way by into 5th.
Yeah, I saw in the back of shot as we watched the incident that Tom Johnson had that Niels Lepers, who was 2nd or 3rd in the AM category, had a bit of a spin at the first corner, so that's why he's dropped off the back of Pete Plastow. So we now look back at a replay of Johnson and Verbecki. I'm not sure if... I think Johnson had a bit of oversteer there. My initial instinct is that it was a bit of a racing incident, and he's unfortunate to be collectors. As we can see, Lepers there in the background had a bit of an incident, potentially by himself or distracted by what went on ahead of him, as Vermont is flashing the headlights at Verbecki, but it's Chmielowski and Johnson who are going side by side into the Parabolica. Chmielowski down the inside there, no problems. But he might be susceptible to the slipstream down the front straight on the return, as Vermont's going into the pits. He might have sustained too much damage there, unfortunately, going into the back of Johnson's car.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you. Be hard-pressed to put blame on one single drive there for that instant last time by. As you see Tom Johnson try to get around the outside of Luke Chmielowski, not able to get enough overlap though, and then decide to give the position to the French driver for Lithium Motorsports. Yeah, unfortunately, nowhere that Kevin could have gone in that. Just running into back end there of Verbecki. That's what happens if there's a bit of an accident, and these guys are so close that you don't have any time to react. And yeah, nothing that Vermont could have done there. And hopefully he'll be all right to get back out with a fixed car for the rest of the race.
Yeah, absolutely, because ISRPC rules do state if you do 75%, then you will be able to score points, with 150 points on offer for a win. Unfortunately, I'm not sure exactly what is going on with our cameras at the moment, as I believe Keys Eiserman is still in the pit lane, so we'll try and fix that as soon as possible.
Yep. I would like a second to talk about Artie Boschart. He's managed to gain up 3 places off the start, up into 12th place overall. So well driven by him so far. He's been doing a lot better in race number 2, making a lot less mistakes. Unfortunately, we saw him caught up in that incident at the start, but he's doing well at the moment. Nice to see him doing all right, as we're now looking at Tom Johnson in this little 4-car train. Nikodem Verbecki's just behind. We saw him leading 2 laps ago. And just behind him, Francois Coulet from Mecca Esports Academy is just behind. And Luke Chmielowski spun it. Chmielowski spun it for the Lithium Motorsports driver around. Not a good races for him down here at Monza, unfortunately. He might be wanting to take these as drop rounds.
Yeah, and we have introduced drop round, as there was a vote on the drivers forum of if any drop round should be taken. Everyone either said 0 or 2, so we had to pick 1 as the only answer, I think. I'm not sure if I just saw Verbecki in the pit lane at the bottom of one of those previous shots. I don't know what's going on with him, unfortunately, as yes, on the timing tower it says he is in the pit lane, so he says he's towed to the pit lane, so let's hope he's only got minimal damage and able to come back out. But yeah, some pretty robust driving in race 2, I think.
Yeah, like I was saying, unfortunately, with the cars being rear-engined, you get hit in the rear, you can get engine damage, which unfortunately will hamper your top-end speed. And at a track like Monza, that is also important. But we're now looking here. This is our battle for 3rd place overall, more importantly, 1st in AM. That's Harry Harvey in the Sapphire Simsport white and blue car just ahead, and behind him in the black, white and blue car, Peter Plastow, as he's trying to move around the outside going into Ascari. Harry Harvey's defending up the inside. They break their way down into Ascari. Harry Harvey still able to hold the position. And just behind, Nanzavano, our championship leader for Mecha Esports, is trying to make his way past Plastow. And they make their way out of Ascari. No changes of position at the moment, although Nanzavano's all over the back of the AM driver. Is he going to make a move up the inside? Yes, he is, showing those, and Plastow pulls out of it, deciding better of it, taking his philosophy of keep it safe and battle for his own AM championship instead of going for the overall. And that pushes Nanzavano up into 4th place. He's got to get past Harry Harvey, and that's him into 3rd place on the podium.
Yeah, I think that's... Harvey will be looking in his mirrors there, and well, actually, I was just on a Murray Walker. I was going to say something which then immediately became untrue. He was going to be glad that there was a car between the two of them, but not the case any longer, as Harvey, I think, gets probably a better run out of the first chicane, and maybe be looking to make a move and the exit. Under braking into the Variante de la Roger.
Yeah, he's getting helped along by the slipstream of Nanzavano, though he's going to have to brake slightly earlier than Plastow. And actually, if you look at this, it's very close straight now. This is the battle for 1st place if you're just joining us in the AM category. Harry Harvey is sat in 1st, and just behind him we've got Peter Plastow, 2nd place in AM, 5th overall. Is this battle with Nanzavano and Mecha Esports just up ahead as they make their way down towards Osmo number 2. Harry Harvey's going to have the slipstream of Nanzavano up ahead, but more importantly for Plastow, he's going to have the slipstream of both Harvey and Nanzavano. And actually, Harvey deciding that, you know what, I don't want to have this pro driver in front anymore. I'm going to try and overtake him. So Harry wants to have that buffer of a car between the both of them, and he's not close enough to make it happen. So he's had to pull out of that move. And it's the same order coming out of Ascari as they were going into it, although Harry Harvey looks like he's quite anxious and wants to get by Nanzavano.
Yeah, absolutely looking for that buffer, but Ivano is defending quite hard, as he is right to do, as every AM car is in both championships over the overall and the AM only. So Ivano, that is would be losing points for Ivano in the overall championship if he let these two drivers past. But yeah, defending quite hard and doing a decent job of it at the moment. Looks all very nice and clean as they pulse over right to the inside, trying to break that slipstream. Bit of dust kicked up there on the let's use tarmac. Seems to have worked this time round. He won't. Harvey won't do what Ivano did to him on the previous lap, as Plastow sits there in the background. A bit of a watching brief probably going on there, as Chmielewski and Lepers are side by side onto the braking area for the first chicane. I think Lepers is going to let him go, perhaps. Nope, side by side they are, and Chmielewski will slot through and into 7th place overall there.
Textbook overtake there from Luke Chmielewski. He's a pro driver, Nils Lepers being an AM driver as well. So for those of you who don't know how our championships work, if you're an AM pro driver, you both get included in an overall championship, whereas the AMs also get their own AM championship. So AMs are in both competing in 2 championships, whereas the pros are fighting everybody out on track. So for the pros, they're especially going to be wanting getting past all these AM drivers, but it gives the AM drivers a reason to defend and also gives them rewards them for getting these good overall results. Like these two up here at the front, Harry Harvey, who's sat in 4th overall, and Peter Plastow, who's sat in 5th, but these are 1-2 in AM. Harry Harvey leads the way through Ascari, and it looks like Peter's not going to be close enough to make a move, although Harvey getting a little bit of a slide on there. He's going to try and pull in the slipstream of Nanzavano down towards Parabolica. As we see Plastow's car just being pulled up towards the back end of that Sapphire Simsport liveried car. Bit of a slide on there for Harvey, who just misses the apex. Plastow's going to be wanting to get a good exit here. Try to power on, get underneath the rear wing of that Porsche 991 GT3 Cup car. as he pulls alongside. Harvey defending on the inside now. Plastow's forced out to the outside. Who's going to have the run down towards turn number 1? Plastow's just in front. Is Harvey going to be able to outbrake him? They go side by side to turn 1. It's the papers width between the two. And it looks like Harvey's able to hold the position. Did he cut the chicane a little bit too much there on entry? And very well done, if not, for able to hold on to 4th place overall and first in AM.
Yeah, it looks like Ivano ahead of them is no longer giving them the slipstream advantage to the leader of this battling pack, which you could argue makes a bit of a truer battle than for our AM lead, but a bit of a lock-up there for Harvey into the first chicane, gave him a little bit more speed and secure the position for the moment.
Yeah, not only is this the battle for first and second in AM, this is also the top 2 in the AM standings. Peter Plastow sat in first and Harry Harvey in second in the standings. This is going to be going towards the overall championship. And Plastow's all over the back end of Harvey. He's going to want to try and get by to maximise his points. He's currently sat on 4 wins out of 5 races. I think it looks like he's going to get slightly out of the throttle there, deciding not to make a move on Harry Harvey. He's a bit too far back to try anything into Ascari, as it looks like the cars are on their last lap now. So this is going to be... He's got 1 corner left to try and make something happen of it, as we see Harvey getting a slide on there. Is that going to cause problems? Is Plastow going to be able to get close enough to make a move? We're probably going to see Harry Harvey defending towards the inside. Yes, here we are. So that mistake out of the exits might have cost Harry Harvey here. He's going to be on the inside for Parabolica. And Plastow's on the outside still. He's going to be able to get the traction down out of the corner. They're still side by side. Harry Harvey's able to keep his way in front. Plastow's going for the over-under out of the chicane, but it looks like he's too far back to do anything of it. Harry Harvey pulls to the inside, and it looks like Harvey's able to get to the line first, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he is. So that's Harry Harvey finishing the race just 800ths ahead of Peter Plastow there to win the AM champion, not the AM championship, sorry, to win the AM race here at Race 2 at Monza. As we look at Tom Johnson, unfortunate to see him involved in so many incidents, and Kevin Vermont as well. We saw him getting caught up in an unfortunate accident at the start of the race. He's down in 10th place, the Mecca Esports liveried car. And Artie Boschart, like I was saying, he's gained 4 positions up into 11th. Very well driven by him. A lot less mistakes this time after being involved in an early incident on lap 1 with Keith Eiserman there, and the car just behind him in the back of shot. You might have just seen there James Parker for iRacing UK. James Parker, our last of our running cars, as he makes his way out of the final corner to come across the finish line. That car looking battered and bruised, but he's managed to bring it to the end. Very well driven from both of them to bring it across the line to score those all-important championship points. What a heck of a race, Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. It all went off as we see Artie in the background doing a few donuts in celebration of finishing a race relatively cleanly for him. That's good to see. Yeah, no, that was absolutely wild up to halfway, and then it petered out a bit. But no, still some good battles for our AM lead there. So now, as we look at the overall results for race 6 in our championship, round 2 of the evening from Monza, Tom Voss took the win there by half a second. Sorry, just fiddling around there. As Tom Voss took the win from Perry Pineken, half a second behind him. So Team DRC, first and second steps on the overall podium. That I don't think we've seen that before, so that's a good result for them. Nanzavano in third for Mecca Esports, another 5 seconds back. And then our battling Harry Harvey managing to hold off Peter Plastow, our formidable AM championship competitor so far. So they only finished less than a 10th of a second behind there. Francois Coulet will be very happy with his third place in AM for Mecca Esports Academy. Luke Chmielowski in 7th for Lithium Motorsports, 19 seconds back. And Niels Lepers, after a spin at the first chicane, recovers to 8th position overall, and 4th place points he'll take home in AM there. Tom Johnson started on the front row, second place he was on the grid, but unfortunately had that incident with Verbicki at the first chicane, and brings it home in 9th position. Kevin Veermont had a bit of trouble as well for Mecca Esports. Artie Boschart in 11th, just outside the top 10 finish for him, but nonetheless he'll be happy with that. And James Parker in our last of our leading lap finishers for iRacing UK, 1 minute and 7 back. And then as we saw, Verbeke, Sanderson and Eiserman unfortunately all not finishing this evening.
Yep, as we bring into the commentary box our race 2 winner here at Monza, Tom Voss. We've seen you, Tom, have some brilliant qualifying events, but unfortunately, you seem to have a lot of bad luck with these races. So, if you're able to convert this one into a win, what did you do with that race? You seem to get away at the start and then pull away from there.
Yeah, in the first race, I had too much swing, and they flew by on the straight, and yeah, couldn't avoid it, and then I spun on my own. So, bit dumb of me, and yeah, luckily I finished P6 or something. Yeah, in race 2, hard fight with Nico. I don't know about that move. Yeah, he could give me a little bit more space, then we didn't have that slowdown. But yeah, at least it's a win.
Yeah, exactly like you said. There's that instant there involving yourself and Verbeke at the start, and we saw you caught up a bollard after you had to take the chicane. Did that hamper your car? You seem to be trying to shake to get it off. Did that? Oh no, I know the icing cones can affect the way your car handles. Is that did that affect you there? Because you lost a bit of time even after the slowdown to Tom Johnson. Was that due to the bollard in front of your car?
Yeah, it's zero grip with the bollard on my car. So yeah, I don't know. Luckily I could spin it off and get on with the race. So, but yeah, these cars are so nerve-wracking. It's insane.
Yeah, it seems like you can't break the slipstream here at Monza. Once you're in a queue of cars, it's just constant battling. You got to be 100% of the time. Like you say, is it good at keeping you on your toes? I can imagine this being a really good, almost training aid for teaching you good battling.
Yeah, absolutely. But the fastest way around here was with high wing, and that's what I did. And maybe that was a stupid idea. But yeah.
It worked out for you in race 2. That's good. Yeah, it worked out for you in race 2, which is what matters. Right, so we're going to let you get away now. After your race number 1, your race number 2. Congratulations on your victory, and we hope to see you out next time.
Thanks.
Tom Voss there for Team DRC. Winning race number 2 there, as we're going to bring into the commentary booth. Finished in 11th place, Artie Boschart for Stage 1 Racing. Artie, what happened at the start there? We saw you involved in a bit of an accident.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Yeah, one of the cars in front of me spun out, and that new smoke thing that iRacing has is you just can't see the cars. So I tried to avoid it, and then I think I almost got past it, and I got clipped on the rear bumper and went around.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. You seem to yeah, you didn't seem to get as much damage as the other cars involved in that. Other than that, it seemed like you were able to control the car a lot better in race number 2. You seem to have a grip of it a lot better. Do you feel like you just managed to acclimatize to the car a bit more for race number 2?
Yeah, I've never driven this car before, and it's starting to I'm starting to learn how to drive that car. And I changed some settings on my brake pedal, so I put the weight of it down a little bit, so now I can actually get the car to stop where I want it to. So yeah, it's getting better. Now I just need to find a good setup, and then I think I'll be good to go.
Oh, that's sweet. We'll see if we can see if anybody in here is kind enough to send you over a race-winning setup.
That would be highly appreciated.
Any questions from yourself, Martin?
No, sorry, you caught me a little bit off guard there. You're enjoying yourself, Artie. I think that's the most important thing. A new challenge for
it's good.
yourself. Usually, LMP2 driver or something of the sorts like that with a bit
Yep.
more downforce. But
Yeah, it's good. It's good fun, and it's a fun thing to do on a Thursday night. I enjoy myself doing it. Trying to learn a new car, it's always good. So yeah, it's good fun, and it's something to do, which is nice in these times. So yeah, I'm enjoying myself. Really good. Really loving it.
fantastic, good to hear. And you have managed to persuade any of your Stage 1 racing teammates to join us on a Thursday night by any chance?
Yeah, I've been talking to him, and I'm almost there. But yeah, we have the 12 hours of Spa coming up this weekend, GT3. So yeah, they were kind of busy doing that. But I might get a couple in during the season somewhere. I'm
Fantastic.
trying.
Yeah, I mean, even if we have a one-off entry, then that's more the merrier on the track.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Good to hear you're having fun, Artie. That's Artie Boschart, our one of our ISRC admins and head stewards. We will now bring in Mr. Harry Harvey after two wins in two race 2 wins in the championship of Mid Ohio and Monza this evening.
Hello.
How are we doing there? Another great race. It looked like a fantastic battle with Pete Plastow again.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've had to work for that one a lot more than the other one. Yeah, I had to recruit all of my defensive skills for that one. That was a very much a difficult race.
But enjoyable nonetheless, it seemed.
Yeah, of course. I didn't have quite as much preparation coming into this one as the last 2 rounds, so I didn't quite have the pace that I did from the previous 2. And I decided to switch on to a more downforce heavy set for the second race, which I don't think helped very much. But at the same time, it was easier to be later on the brakes, so defending was a little bit easier.
Oh, very good. And we see some new colours from Sapphire Simsport this evening.
Yes, yeah. Thank you to our team owners. We've got some fresh liveries, new look on the track. Definitely an improvement.
Yeah, no, those colours are looking sharp, and good to see a little bit of accented colour between yourself and Tom Johnson in his slightly pink car.
Yeah, it makes it easier to distinguish the 2 different cars, I suppose, doesn't it? So, and it gives everyone a sort of unique identity. So, yeah, it's nice.
No, that's really good to see, and yeah, thanks for changing the colours up between cars, because otherwise we'd have a hell of a job to tell you apart. Well, apart from the fact that you're always at the front of the Anfield, it seems.
Yeah, it's nice for us and you, I suppose.
Yeah.
We're rooting for you here in the coach box. It's good to see that you're up at the front now, and you seem to be finding your feet and taking the fight to Peter Plastow, and he's not running away from the championship. There'll be less than 100 points separating the 2 of you. Are you gonna carry on battling for this AM championship? We saw you almost letting Nanzavano pass earlier on. Is that you're just going to focus on this AM championship, or do you want to try your best as well in the overall?
AM's the main target. Anything in overall would be nice, but yeah, the AM's just what I'm aiming for. It's pointless battling pros. You're better off playing the numbers game, I suppose. If you're only going for the AM championship, there's a lot less point battling the pros because they're faster than you anyway. So it's easy just to fight for the AM championship and let them through. And then plus you're not impacting if they're only aiming for the pro championship, you're not impacting their race either then.
Yep, very well said, very well said. So we'll let you step away now after race number 2, grab a drink, have a chat with your friends. Very well driven today, and we hope to see you out again next time.
Yeah, cheers guys. Hopefully I'll be in here a couple more times the rest of the season.
We hope to speak to you again soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
Great to speak there with our race 2 AM winner, Harry Harvey. Also had Tom Boss in the commentary booth and Artie Boschart from Stage 1 Racing. That was our round number 3 at Monza, 2 races, 20 minutes long. We had some awesome battling here. Unfortunately, not as big turnout as we had in some of the previous rounds. We're hearing a lot of that's because a lot of teams are dedicating practice both to the 24-hour race that will be running in 2 weekends' time. There's still one spot open for that in any category for anybody who is interested in that. As well as the iRacing Craventics Endurance Series, 12 hours at Spa this weekend. So best of luck to anybody who is competing in either of those events over the next coming weeks. Other than that, Martin, if you've got anything to say, now's the time to say it.
No, I think we've seen some fantastic racing this evening. Monza has certainly thrown up the championship again, and Peter Plastow was once again shown absolute dominance in the AM field, and for him to come away with an overall win is semi reminiscent of Matt Neal doing it in BTCC as a privateer in the late 90s. So no, that was fantastic to see. Next up for ISRC, we have our Endurance Championship next weekend has its final round, which is a 24 hours of Le Mans. There are 1, maybe 2 spots left on the grid, so if you have a team of drivers of 3 minimum, up to 8 drivers there, then join the Discord in the link in the description below, and we can sort out. You send us the entry details, and you'll be on the grid.
Yep, like Martin said there, we not only run the Endurance Series, which is about to come to an end, we also run this Porsche Cup Championship. If you're interested in running that, join the Discord to find out more information. As well as that, once we've finished the 24 Hours Le Mans, we'll be going on to our Season 2, which we've just recently announced. If you want to find out more information about our Season number 2, our Endurance Season, that is, you can join our Discord and you can find information about that in there, if that's anything that would interest yourselves. Other than that, we will be seeing you guys in 2 weeks' time at Donington Park. So from myself and all the guys at ISRC TV, hope you all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you again soon.